Hey everyone, it's Angela with Mystic Moon bringing you guys another twin flame reading. This one's a little bit different. This is going to be on the shadowy aspects of our divine masculines, but I'm also going to boost it up with a little bit of some light messages from the divine feminine. Where there is dark, there is also light and vice versa, so I think it's important to see both sides of the situation. So we are just going to kind of take a real deep look into what is going on with your divine masculine at the present time, where he may be at in the future, what he's also struggling with, etc. So I'm using a few different decks here today. I'm using the Tarot of the Vampires, as you can see for the tarot cards here. But as I go on, I'll go ahead and share what I'm using with you. These are the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle cards. And I do have an outline, so I will go ahead and let you guys know what I'm doing there. I did pre-select the cards already, so that way they're nice and ready to go. I don't have to waste any time shuffling at this point. So we're just going to jump right into it. And actually, I just want to kind of give a little bit of a disclaimer. If I've already done a reading from you, or you are just already feeling great, then there's no reason to tune in. And I mean, unless you want to kind of check out what your divine masculine may be going through. But remember, these readings are general, and I'm not always going to be plugged into your divine masculine. When you get a personal reading from me, I am definitely 100% plugged into only your divine masculine. So those messages that come through are only for you. So if there's something that just doesn't feel right as soon as you start listening to this video within the first 5 or 10 minutes, it's probably best to just click off. There's no reason to listen to information that's going to take you either down a negative path or that's not right for you to hear at this time. I think sometimes we have a tendency to want to make something fit when it doesn't. Just because we see a twin flame video, we think it has to apply to our situation. And sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So don't make it fit if it doesn't fit. If there's some messages that resonate and other ones don't, just go ahead and take the ones that do and get rid of the rest. That's pretty much all I can say. So just kind of ensure at your own risk, all right? Okay, so this is what is hidden at this time from the divine feminine, or at least this is what the divine masculine thinks he's hiding from the divine feminine. So the first card that I want to talk about here is the Three of Grails card. This Three of Grails card is very interesting because it has to do with third-party situations. This has to do with your divine masculine, his connection to you as well as another. So the divine masculines that I'm channeling are either in karmic relationships or you're not aware of the fact that there is another woman, in fact, in the picture. But I'm kind of seeing this eternal triangle with this particular divine masculine. Regardless of what direction that he has gone throughout his lifetime, since he has connected with you, he has not been able to connect with another in such a way. And so what I'm actually seeing here, because I am reading these cards here, not only intuitively, as well as the images and the traditional tarot card meaning, the Three of Grails is also the Three of Cups energy. Now, if you guys have seen my previous videos, the Three of Cups energy is something that has been following the divine masculine. And in those particular decks, it did depict a kind of energy that was just very, casual, somebody who's in a casual social even setting where they're dealing with all types of people. And so these connections are somewhat superficial and very light. They're not very deep because this is not a Two of Cups energy coming through. It's a three. So the thing is that when there's this Three of Cups energy coming through with this particular deck, this shows me that we have the divine masculine here with his divine feminine. His divine feminine, they are eternally connected. They are connected on a spiritual as well as just a chemistry type of a level. And this is anybody else that enters into that realm, enters into that little circle there. So it's like, for some of these divine masculines, they could feel really weighed down by this connection. They could really not understand what it is. It could even feel like a curse for some of them. Now remember, we're talking about shadows here. So this is going to be a little bit more of a shadowy aspect and meaning with these cards. But to me, what I'm really picking up on is that this divine masculine is either very confused or looks at this as somewhat of a curse, kind of like he just can't shake it no matter what he does, no matter who he tries to get into a relationship with. It just doesn't end up successfully because he's still looking for something else. Why didn't he just originally stay with the divine feminine that he felt like that great connection with? Who knows? It could be for a variety of reasons. This man could have been very scared and just couldn't handle the connection. Maybe he was repelled by the connection when he first experienced it, and so that caused him to want to get the hell out of Dodge. And maybe it's only since the separation, or this period of time of separation that has been going on between the two of them, that he's realized it was actually a really wonderful feeling that he hasn't been able to replicate in these other relationships. So I'm just kind of seeing this little triangle here. Now, another meaning that's coming through that may identify with some of you divine feminines out there watching is this is a person who is in a social setting. They're in a setting where they have a lot of people, especially a lot of women around them. Your divine masculine can just be very good looking and very charming. And so he's really never short of that supply of people and women and admirers around him. And so because of that, he's just continuously in this cycle. That's kind of where the shadows are for him. He just is in that very dark place within himself. Again, I'm not really feeling that he's getting his emotional desires or his emotional needs met at this time. It's either just very surface stuff, or it's just, in fact, meaningless sex, but it's just not a deep connection between the two of them. And the reason why is because, the Three of Cups energy is very casual, but he does have this divine feminine that he's connected to. And again, he may not even realize that that is what the situation is. They may not even realize that there is this energy that is around them that is keeping them from moving forward with another. Some of them may be aware of it. Others may not have even awoken up to that fact. So that may be coming, in fact, for them. But that is what remains in the shadows. So now we have the Daughter of Knives. This is the Page of Swords energy here. I'm getting a few different messages with this one. The Page of Swords seems to, or it's the Princess of Swords actually in other decks that I've worked with, when channeling the Divine Masculine, especially when it comes to the karmic relationships, that he tends to have this particular Page of Swords around him, or this Princess of Swords. This is an energy that's young. This is an energy where somebody is emotionally immature, possibly manipulative. They're just not mature enough to deal with their own thoughts. And so sometimes they can come across as very controlling or very cutting or just very cutthroat. What I'm actually sensing for some of the divine masculines out there is that this person that's around them is very much like wanting this relationship to work, wanting to force this connection to work. They're very much forcing themselves on the divine masculine. And because of that, it might feel a little difficult for the divine masculine to get out of that particular situation. The reason I say this is because we have the devil, and the devil is about being shackled to something in the 3D world. We deal with illusions, and we're unfortunately not able to get past those illusions in order to break ties with the things that are binding us that we know are not good for us. So to me, I automatically feel karma here. I feel like karmic relationship for some of these divine masculines. But what I'm also getting, aside from if there is no karmic partner and your divine masculine is just alone, what I'm seeing here is that he has thoughts in his head, but he's not willing, like a knight, to bring them forth and actually put them into action. So this is somebody who's thinking. This is somebody who may be bound with fear. This is somebody who is unable to break this negative cycle within themselves. And so they are, unfortunately, are not coming forward to you with their thoughts. And so because of that, there is no movement in this relationship. There is no resolution. There is no conversation. People need to say things, and there's just nothing happening, unfortunately, at this time, because we still have the devil energy with the divine masculine, which seems to be a theme all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the divine masculine and that this never comes up for the divine feminine, but for some reason, these energies with this particular divine masculine I channel seems to be following him. So it's a consistent story and theme. So that tells me that these same issues that we've been talking about for the last month are still with this divine masculine. So he's still trying to break these chains. He's still trying to get past this fear-based thinking. He's still trying to get rid of this karmic situation, or he's still just acting in a way where he's just not connecting deeply with another at all, okay? But what I'm seeing here is that also a part of the fear about coming forward to his divine feminine, because I do see this energy where somebody actually has something to say. They want to clear the air. They want to bring forth some kind of information. But what stops them is the Six of Skulls. And the Six of Skulls here is the Six of Pentacles energy. The Six of Pentacles energy is a card of equal give and take. And so what I'm seeing here is that the divine masculine's fear is that he will not be received very well, or that you will cut him with your sword. So if you have exchanged angry words with each other at some point in time, it's like either so much time has gone on to where he has no idea how you even think or feel about him. So it's like the fear keeps him from reaching out because he doesn't think that he's going to get back what he puts into it. He's not sure if there's even going to be an open line of communication between the two of you, or that you would even be open to communicating with him. So that is the fear coming through. And I already have an outline here. Like I said, I'm following. And this actually wasn't even the fears. This is just what's hidden from you at this time. So, but this is also bringing forth some fears too. I just had to point that out. But what he's hiding from his divine feminine, some of them actually may be hiding this other person. Some of them may actually be hiding the fact that they're dating. Some of them may be hiding the fact that they even want you, that they would even want to come forward, or that they have something to say. Some of them may be hiding addictions. This could be alcohol addictions, drug addictions, sex addictions, all kinds of codependency things that are just very 3D things that are holding us down and holding us chained. So there's a variety of things that are being hidden from the divine feminine at this time, because there's a lot of fear going on, there's a lot of shame, or there's a lot of sneaky behavior going on where the divine masculine is just very much having a good time and he's just trying to have his cake and eat it too. Those are all the messages that are coming through. So what we have here is the oracle card of the High Priestess of Air. Now this here is the divine feminine's energy. So the High Priestess of Air could be indicating that we are talking about a divine feminine fire sign. So this could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries divine feminine. It doesn't have to be, but I'm just telling you as a special message that if you are a fire sign female, this could have some special meaning for you. But again, it doesn't have to be just a fire sign female. This female is coming through as all-knowing. I'm also getting a little bit of this fiery temper and fiery anger. The reading that I just did the other day depicted a divine feminine that was a fire sign as well, coming through, or that fiery energy. And there was anger and temper. She's intense. And so it doesn't surprise me that this divine masculine is almost a little bit of afraid of a conversation. He's actually not sure how it would go. I'm not sure if he is able to conjure up the strength at this time in order to move forward with his thoughts, which is why he's coming across as the page. Also, too, what is being hidden is we've got some possible spying on social media. The Page of Swords sometimes does indicate people sneaking around and being sneaky with the way that they're thinking about things or looking at things. And so this could indicate for some of you that your divine masculine has been checking up on you either recently or over the years or whatever it may be, and either knows certain things about your life that you're not aware that he knows of, or he's just kind of viewing you from afar and kind of checking things out, seeing where you're at and kind of planning his move. Because again, I'm not seeing any action. It's still just very much in his head and what he's planning to do. But the ending oracle card was the Forbidden card, which is the indication to me that your divine masculine here is not ready. This is not a door that is meant to be embarked on at this time. So some of you may be really wanting to reconnect with this particular divine masculine, and it might not be the right time. I mean, I know in my prior video in regards to a divine masculine, reaching out, because he wasn't going to do it, and I still see him not wanting to do it. So some of you may have either are planning to make a move, or you will be making a move, or you already have, and it may have turned out successfully, which is great. But for some of you, it's still going to be a closed door. So it's like you're taking a chance. Now, that's not to say to let your fear hold you back. It might be something that needs to happen. It might be the catalyst that breaks the chain. But you might not be met with an exact, like, I'm ready to have a conversation. There's still some sort of a door, or still some sort of resistance that's happening here because of these things that he is currently going through. So if he is in a karmic relationship, you may not want to involve yourself into this triangle. You may not want to be a part of that situation. So for the time being, it's best to sit back and just kind of see how things play out. And, send your divine masculine that strength and understanding and that light to really push him, to give him that strength in order to wrap this shit up that he no longer needs to be shackled to. The High Priestess is also somebody who is very intense when it comes to spirituality. So this is somebody who the power of intention it comes very easily to this person. She could just be on her own spiritual journey, but her thoughts and the law of attraction and the way that she uses her magical abilities are very, very strong. So that, again, she can use them for good or ill. She's a magician, but she can, with her anger, she can really cut a motherfucker. And this might be why this divine masculine is just not willing to come forth, because he may just be very intimidated and not sure if he's really wanting to deal with the wrath. But the thing, what I'm getting here from this divine feminine is, even though she has felt this way at one time or another towards this divine masculine, she may have done such spiritual growth within herself to where she's no longer in that space and time anymore. She's gotten over the anger. She has worked through her issues. And because of this, the communication between the two of them would actually go very well if somebody would take a chance. So I don't know how that's going to play out for this particular situation between these two, but those are just the things that are coming up. So that is what's hidden at this time. This is kind of like what's lurking in the shadows. All kinds of things are lurking in the shadows, okay? So now what we're going to do is we are going to go into the obstacles. These are the obstacles to overcome. Now, these are already obstacles that need to be overcome, so it's kind of redundant, but we're just going to go ahead and go with the messages anyways. Okay, so this next position is the obstacles to overcome. So like we just saw, there was definitely these obstacles of this lover's triangle or this fear-based thinking that the divine masculine seems to be stuck in. That obviously is coming across as something that needs to be overcome, but I just went ahead and shuffled cards. These are the guys that popped out for this particular message as obstacles for the divine masculine to overcome. I think it's very interesting because we have two energies that are popping up here, and I'm getting a variety of messages with them. Obviously, we have the Queen of Skulls. The Queen of Skulls for me is the Queen of Pentacles. That's what that card is. And that's, to me, whenever I see this in the court cards, this always represents the divine feminine to me, even though all the queens are divine feminines and the Empress is the divine feminine as well as the High Priestess. But for me, this is like the very 3D divine feminine because it has to do with Earth, Queen of Pentacles. So one of the obstacles is in fact, the divine feminine. So this is actually a part of the journey for this divine masculine. This is some kind of an obstacle that has to do with the divine feminine that he must overcome in this lifetime. So I feel that he is already on this path. Okay, so I know that some of you are concerned that your divine masculine hasn't even woken up yet. And that may be the case. So maybe this reading isn't for you. But what I'm channeling for this particular divine masculine is that he either has the thoughts or the desire to go off on his own, or he is in fact already on this journey alone, or he is working towards, like, he might be tied up with this third party. Okay, he might be tied up with these casual little encounters that he's got going on. But the thing is, where he is at in his mind, where he's at in his heart and his soul is very much coming through as the Hermit card here. Okay, this could also be a special message for a Virgo type energy coming through for a divine masculine. Doesn't have to be, but it can be a special message. Anyways, the thing is, with this Queen of Skulls and this Hermit, it's like this person needs to go on their own spiritual journey. So I'm definitely feeling separation between the two of them. Definitely feeling the separation. So I don't think that this is people that are actually together. They're in separation. They have not spoken for either quite some time. There's a lot of mystery that's being built up within this time frame that they have not spoken, which is why the divine masculine is in that fear-based thinking when it comes to this divine feminine. But this Hermit is all about somebody that's on a journey. But I'm also seeing that this is somebody who may be a like terminal bachelor. This is somebody who has an issue with either settling down or being in a long-term relationship. They always seem to find themselves in this spot, which is alone in solitude on this constant journey. It's almost like this journey has been going on for so long for them that it seems like an endless journey at this point, okay? But the thing is, and it's very deep here because what I'm seeing is that this journey has always been about the divine feminine. So the thing is, this person may have encountered this divine feminine and needed to go off on their own and find their own way and come to their own conclusions, but their journey leads back to the divine feminine. So I think that's beautiful that she sits right in the middle of this reading on this message. But we do have other energies that are around him. I already saw that with the Three of Cups card here. We've got the Daughter of Grails, which is the Page of Cups. We have lots of either young or immature types of energies that are around him that are very casual, that he's comfortable with. Do you see how we have a daughter and then we have a queen? There's quite a difference with the maturity and the connection that he has with his divine feminine versus all these other casual encounters or karmics or whatever. Okay, it could even be a soulmate for some of them too. But this is just somebody they're not able to connect with anybody like they have with their divine feminine. And so the thing is, that's why it never really went past this person was never actually able to graduate to that queen status for this divine masculine. it still wasn't what he wanted. It still wasn't what he was looking for. He still didn't have that emotional connection that he was looking for. It was either very surface, or it just didn't really bloom. It didn't blossom. It didn't stand the test of time. But this divine feminine coming up in her very earthly realm here is somebody who's very solid. This is a solid part of the divine masculines, just either inner thoughts, or it's part of his energy. I'm almost feeling like in this very earthly type of energy that's coming through here, that she has been with him in his either mind or his heart at some point within this journey that they have been separated. He may have already taken the time to understand or even replayed in his mind this relationship, and may even have done some inner work in regards to things that he did or the way that he treated her, etc. Maybe he's kind of already gone through that dark night of the soul when it comes to dealing with this divine feminine. And maybe being around all these other situations and all these other people has brought him to that understanding of, wow, okay, the person that, I shot, or that I, cast away, maybe that person was offering me something really solid, but unfortunately at that time I either wasn't ready for it, I just couldn't see it, but now I can see it. Now I'm understanding this. So again, I'm seeing great spiritual growth actually with this divine masculine. He's either on the, just about ready to embark on this journey, or he's actually been on the journey for quite some time. And for some of them, they've been on this terminal bachelor journey for a long time. But anyways, that is just what's coming through for the obstacles. So he has had to get over these casual encounters, these not meaningless, these relationships that he has been in, or these encounters that he's been in, have not been for nothing. They have taught him something about himself. They have actually pointed him back to his divine feminine. So that is not for nothing. That's actually a part of the very wonderful journey of twin flame, because it does reside here with the central theme of the Queen of Skulls, which is his divine feminine. But the thing is, his obstacles on this path have to do with love, and they also have to do with his divine feminine and seeing her in her true light and being ready for her presence and being ready for her energy, because this person just may not have been ready for her energy when she gave it originally, and now he's starting to feel ready, or he feels that he is ready. So he's just, again, he's in his head. He's trying to figure out how to formulate these thoughts and take them and actually put them into action. But there's fear that's holding him back. So, and it's interesting because we have the movement card, okay? There's definitely an obstacle with moving forward for this divine masculine. So even though he is on this journey and he's moving forward on his journey, or ready to embark on this journey, it's almost like there's still these issues with moving forward. What's holding him back? We already know what's holding him back. It's either a karmic, or it is a negative way of thinking, fear-based thinking, or just that he doesn't want a deep connection at this time. He really would just rather have casual encounters. So all of those things are holding him back and are obstacles with moving forward on this journey. But we have the High Priestess of Spirit. Again, this right here is a mastery of one's spirit. And so to me, I feel like this is definitely a very spiritual journey for this divine masculine. I really do. I feel like this is finally the time where he's really going to put in the effort. He may have wasted a lot of, it's not a waste of time. He may have spent a lot of time kind of going into the same direction, doing the same things and going through the same cycles just to end up at the same destination. It's almost like he is finally ready to get off of the roller coaster. He's finally ready to get off that round and round carousel that's not really getting him anywhere. Okay. So now he's willing to actually do the work. He's actually willing to go on the spiritual journey to be more in his spiritual self and just to just have this greater understanding. He may be right now being exposed to a lot of spiritual knowledge or spiritual people. Perhaps there could be some kind of spiritual teacher or just somebody that they really respect and they really enjoy being around them and they want that for themselves. And so now they are in search of that thing that has been missing their entire life, which of course, as we know, is a part of the divine feminine, but he may not understand that yet, or he may not have that idea just yet. But I feel that on this journey, it's like he is going to get to that aha moment, which is, okay, I understand now that it was always leading back to my divine feminine, but he's got to go on this very spiritual journey first. But the obstacles that are holding him back, you know, are fears. So there's definitely some either outside influences or just internal fears that are holding him back from moving forward on this journey. But I really do see and feel for this divine masculine that he's going to do it. I do see him pushing forward if he's not already on this journey. I see him moving forward and just doing the work is what I'm seeing here. And so I believe that's why the divine feminine's right here in the middle, is that she's still there at the end of this journey is what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on into the next section, which is fears. And the thing is, we've already talked about fears. We've already talked about the obstacles that are standing in the way. So again, that might be redundant, but this is just the outline that I chose. And these are the cards that popped out. So of course, you know, I want to read them. Okay, so this next position has to do with fears. Again, maybe the information will be a little redundant, but that's okay. We're just going to go into it anyways. So the first card that I want to point out here is the Emperor card. So the Emperor card to me is the divine masculine energy. But what I'm getting from this is that a part of his fears is that he will not be able to step into that Emperor King status role. This may be somebody that is not feeling good about themselves, or they don't feel like they have had enough earthly achievements in order to be that strong masculine figure for a divine partnership. And so they are still working in the material world, really trying to build themselves up still. So this is a fear for them that they will not be able to deliver, or they will not be able to deliver the type of relationship that they know this divine feminine will need. Okay, so not only is this have to do with earthly stuff like status with money and career and success, this also has to do with emotional. So if he has not emotionally changed, or he's still kind of transforming his emotional stuff or healing or whatever that may be, he may not even be at this point right now to where he can even fully immerse himself emotionally with this divine feminine, because whatever they either had before, it's where he didn't want that. So if he's still not ready for that, then there's no point in going back into something that's not going to work, because the thing is, it would just be a shitstorm. It would just be this chaos card here. It wouldn't work still. So I'm seeing that this is a part of the fear. A part of the fear is that it's just still not going to work, because he either hasn't done the work, or he's still just having a hard time connecting the dots and really giving into that love, that love that he feels when he's around this divine feminine who makes him feel vulnerable. He just may not be ready to do that at this time. And so that's why there's still this hesitation about coming forward. But the Emperor, again, is just about being fearful that he will not be able to be a provider for his divine feminine either, or that he cannot be a husband. And the reason I said this is because we have the Hierophant card here. When the Hierophant card comes up, this has to do with actual marriage. This has to do with traditions. This also has to do with conventional marriages. So it's like, there's something about the convention of marriage that may not work for this divine masculine. He may have a fear of marriage or commitment, or the piece of paper or the legal term or whatever that may be, legally tying yourself to another. There's something about it that may be very scary for this divine masculine, which is coming up in the fear, okay? But what I'm also getting is that he may fear that he's going to lose his independence if he combines himself with another. This could be a divine masculine that has a fear not only of marriage or just commitment or long-term relationships. He could just have even an issue of living together with somebody. So I'm definitely feeling this hermity, terminal bachelor message coming through again. This particular divine masculine may just be somebody who has always been on his own, or he hasn't really gotten too serious with any particular person. And so again, he's really fearing to combine his life with the divine feminine. And the reason I'm saying this is because we have the Strength card here, and as you can see, we have this panther. So it's like this beast, and we have this beauty and this beautiful creature, which is the divine feminine. She is very much trying to tame this beast, and so he is afraid that she would try to control him, or she would try to take away his strength and his power and whatever may be going on. But the thing is, it's a very gentle message at the same time, because the divine feminine is ready to allow her divine masculine to do the work that he needs to do to continue. So even if they were to come together in the 3D, she would very much be understanding of, he may have a journey to continue on, or he may have work or different things that he wants to do in the material world. But what I'm seeing is that's what she has going on for herself too. She has risen from the ashes. She has become stronger with this separation that they've been in. She may not be that same person that she once was. She may be a different person. She may be a stronger person, a better person. She may be more independent, and maybe that was an issue for them before. Maybe this divine masculine viewed this divine feminine as being someone who was needy, or really needed his time, or really just needed him, and that was just too much pressure for him. So what I'm seeing here is that this message is coming through as this divine masculine really doesn't have a lot to fear, but his own fears and the way that he's thinking kind of like the little tornado that's going on in his mind keeps him again from thinking that he can have this with his divine feminine, or really just anybody, to be honest. I'm just seeing fear of commitment. I'm seeing fear of conventional marriage, feeling like it's a trap, feeling like your life is over, feeling like the love goes out the window as soon as you get married. Just all those messages are coming through. But the divine feminine is in your life to complement you, not control you. And so this is just a fear that's coming through. It just really, really is. So yeah, that's the message. So not too long on those messages because I think they're pretty clear, but those are the divine masculine's fears. So now we're going to move on into the next. Okay, so this next message is your divine masculine's connection to you in the shadows. So what I mean by this is that this is a place where your divine masculine either felt comfortable with you or uncomfortable. This is where the two of you kind of stay shackled together. And I'm only using that term because we're talking about shadows. And so we already saw with this divine masculine that he may feel like this connection to his divine feminine, because he doesn't understand, it might feel like a curse to him. So it's a little dark, even though he does, you know, remember the good times too, because I am seeing light here as well to balance out that darkness. But what we have here is the Four of Skulls. The Four of Skulls is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is about not wanting to let go of something, being kind of like stuck in the material. Now, I think it's interesting that we're talking about the connection of these two in the shadows. They're very connected in the shadows. This divine masculine and feminine may have really connected in their dark space. They may have been both of a dark humor type of people, or they may have been very comfortable letting their guards down. And so they were able to speak about things that maybe they couldn't speak about with other people. And so because of this, there may have been some kind of projection or mirroring going on with these two, because maybe the divine masculine or the divine feminine, they were uncomfortable with whatever the other brought out. And so because of that, almost like this judging went on, or this misconception of this person and who they were, even though it was their own darkness that they were mirroring back to one another, it still made them feel uncomfortable. It still caused somebody to run, or it still caused somebody to blame or use harsh words in describing this person, or just saying, you know, harsh things to this person, whatever it may be. But the thing is that these two really do have a connection in the shadows as well, and they're very comfortable there. And this is actually something that's really beautiful, because we have the dark and then we also have the light connection. So to me, this is a very balanced connection that the two of them have, but their connections definitely are in the shadows. And what I'm also getting to with that Four of Pentacles energy is that they're in this shit together. Okay, so they have both at some point, or still do feel that they are connected to one another in a very earthly way. Not only do they feel it spiritually, but they may really want to be back together again in the 3D at some point. And so that never leaves their mind, no matter what relationship they're in, or no matter what situation they're in, or where they're at in that juncture of their life. They still have this need to want to have each other in their lives. It's just something that's there. It's something that gnaws at them. It's almost like, feels again like a curse, because we're talking about shadowy aspects. So these two, for me, because it's a four, and fours are two twos, these are two people that are in it together. And they have either been shackled to this. We did see this with the devil energy that came through in the opening message. There's definitely something that's very earthly about this connection. This could be also a connection that is on fire when it comes to sexual chemistry and passion. So there almost is like this addictive quality, or this obsessive quality that one or two may share within this connection. But anyway, so that Four of Skulls is just that indication that the two of them are very much on the same page when it comes to their darkness. And they're both comfortable with each other's, well, they may be comfortable in the dark, but as soon as somebody gets freaked out, then it's, you know, it's off, the game's off. So it's like they no longer want to roll around in the shadows. It was fun while it lasted, but it's not fun anymore. So anyways, I'm just seeing projection with that card. With the Eight of Knives here, this is just a further indication of being shackled and tied up. So to me, this is like the divine masculine's energy. Eight of Knives is Eight of Swords, and Eight of Swords is being tied up. You're so tied up, you feel like you can't remove yourself from a situation. And so what I'm actually seeing here is that this divine masculine may have tried to remove these thoughts of his divine feminine from his mind, and it just hasn't been successful. Maybe it was temporarily successful when it came to spending time with certain individuals, and then maybe the thoughts just came back. And maybe this is what has led this divine masculine to understanding that there is something very significant about this person that he remains connected to in these shadowy parts of himself. He may also be at his darkest moments when he's thinking of his divine feminine as well, because she may have been a beacon of light for him when he was in his darkness. And she may have been that, like I said, that guiding light that kind of drew him out of the darkness. And so this could be that he is, you know, either stuck in that way of thinking, remembering her, but he almost feels like he's stuck now and he's not able to release himself without her light. So there's just some kind of thing that is connecting the two of them. And I don't want to say like in a negative way, but it's in a very dark way. And so again, there's just like truth or words would set this divine masculine free, because we're dealing with swords here, and swords have to do with communication. It has to do with speaking. It has to do with our thoughts and just bringing something forth. And so I really do feel that what would break these chains that are binding the divine masculine at this time is either words from his divine feminine or words that he would speak to his divine feminine. But something has to give. Something has to be released. Something has to be brought forth so it can be released, because where he's at in his Page of Swords mind, he's not doing anything with these thoughts. He's not moving on them, and he needs to. And again, if he doesn't, there might be some divine feminines out there that need to take matters into their own hands moving forward. It just kind of depends. So, but another beautiful aspect of this connection here is the sun. Look at this couple. I mean, this is just beautiful. This is a couple that we have a dark and a light being. So what I'm actually seeing here is, again, this divine feminine could be a guiding light, or he may look at her as some type of an angel or blessing in his life. And there may be a lot of, there's almost like a lot of either regret or a lot of just guilt in the way that he treated this light being. She didn't deserve it. You know, he knows that she didn't deserve it, but he just did it anyways. And because of it, he has remained shackled to this pain or her curse in some way, is what I'm getting here. But this light being really helps to balance out his dark, and he needs this. But she also needs it too. They both equally need it. And we've got that 4 there, and then the 2, I mean, not the 2, the sun. And so these combined energies to me are just 2 people that really need each other. They really need each other. And we also have success. This has to do with a contract. So whatever experiences that this divine feminine and masculine are going through is very necessary. They're meant to complete these tasks that are binding them. They are meant to complete these challenges that are before them to come back together here. That is the main focus. The main focus for this divine masculine and feminine is not to just learn some tasks or learn some lessons and then, you know, come back together and have a conversation and then go on their merry ways again. No, I'm not seeing that at all for this divine masculine and feminine. What I'm seeing is that they're meant to be in the light again. They're meant, after this long period of darkness, they are meant to come together in the light again and to really enjoy this connection once again. And with the sun, to me, it's renewal, it's vitality, it's people come back to life. It's almost like this divine feminine and this divine masculine bring each other back to life. So as we can see, this journey for this divine masculine has always been about the divine feminine, even though he may not get that or may not even understand that still at this time. He may just be thinking about her, missing her here and there, but he's not connecting the dots. Once he starts to go on this journey, things will start to become clear to him. Very interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to go into the future of this shadowy aspect for the divine masculine. Okay, so this is the future for the divine masculine dealing with these shadows, okay? So what we have here is the 4 of Cups energy. Now, the 4 of Cups to me can sometimes depict different things in different decks, but for me in this one, this is about wasting time with others, you know, draining the life out of situations or feeding on things that are not nourishing you. That's what I'm seeing with this. So the divine masculine has to stop engaging in this type of behavior. He has to stop feeding on things or going to places for supply that are not going to nourish him properly. Okay, so at some point he's going to have to change his ways. He's going to have to change the way that he's doing things. And I see that he will be successful at this because we do have some very We do have some very positive cards here, as well as a conclusion card. But again, like I said, the divine masculine moving forward may have to learn a few more lessons before he can come back together with his divine feminine. He may have to go through a couple more rounds with a couple more individuals and waste some more time and do things that are not nourishing his soul. He may need to partake and drink the blood or drink the sour blood of someone that's not going to nourish him. The only thing that's going to nourish this divine masculine is himself as well as his divine feminine. But again, he is going to take some time to figure that out. But the justice card has to do with there will be justice in this situation. Things will become balanced once again. To me, this is also a card of thoughts. This is also a card of communication. It's ruled by Libra, so it has to do to me with like air quality, which is also communication and thoughts and talking. So I do feel that through a conversation or through coming together, these people will be able to have a meeting of the minds and kind of understand and heal these things and balance things out within their situation that may have been lopsided for quite some time. So that's something that is coming in the future. That's beautiful. And we have the 10 of Scepters. You know when that's going to happen? It's going to happen when the shit finally hits the fan, when it's just like such a heavy burden that you don't want to carry any longer. You're tired of the burden. This 10 coming up here is like the completion of a cycle. It could be 10 years, 10 months, the 10th month. It came up before in our prior reading. But there could be something about the completion of an actual cycle where it's just like, oh my God, I'm no longer willing to hold this burden anymore. Let's balance this shit out. Let's get some justice in the situation. I'm sick of it. I want to conclude this. I want to come to a conclusion, which we have right here. So what I'm seeing here for the future for these two is that they will come to some sort of conclusion. They will have either a meeting of the minds or a conversation or something that takes place that really balances these energies out here, because it's been very lopsided and dark for quite some time. And the light of the sun wants to shine in on this couple again. Okay. Then we have the 4 of Scepters, which is the 4 of Wands. To me, that's a twin flame card. In another deck, we have 2 pillars on each side of each other that says 1111. So that 4 of Scepters, whenever it comes up, or 4 of Wands, to me is always a twin flame card. So I love the fact that we are starting here with the divine masculine kind of still, he's still dicking around. He's still just kind of with his casual situations. He's still wasting time. He's still feeding on the wrong individuals, okay? He's still not being nourished, okay? But there is justice coming. There is this balancing of scale situation. It will happen once he gets tired, once he gets sick and tired of it. And I already feel that for some of these divine masculines that they're already tired of it and they're already either cut themselves off from their karmics and they're already on their own personal journey, or they're still trying to wrap that shit up. But whatever it is, it's like they're no longer willing to hold the burden anymore or carry the burden of the pain or the shadows or the negativity of this very heavy situation with his divine feminine. He's just no longer willing to live in the dark anymore. He's no longer willing to not know something. It's like there needs to be light shown on something. And so that this will happen. This justice card is very powerful coming through, saying justice will be served. And once that's the case, these two can actually live in harmony. You know, they may come back together and actually have a relationship, or their energies come together and it's very healing for one another and it completes the cycle that they've been in. But damn, it is a complicated situation. It's not easy. This has not been an easy road for this divine masculine and feminine. They may have put each other through hell. One of them could have put one through hell and the other one didn't realize they were also doing the same thing. There's just some kind of mirroring thing going on, or where both people are in fear. This came up in my prior reading, where both people were feeling similar and neither one of them understood or even knew that. So it's like they've both been in the dark for so long that no one knows what to do and is so fearful to make a move. So unfortunately, that creates distance, it creates time, and it creates a lot of blocks where we don't move forward because we're afraid or we just don't know. But the thing that's great though is the very last card is the conclusion card. We have the beginning of this book and we also have an end. That tells me that all this journey that they've been through is all the shit that's in between. They are going to reach a conclusion, okay? We already see it here, and it's going to be a happy conclusion. This is going to actually be a really positive conclusion. It's not going to be, you know, that type of ending or the type of conclusion where it's like, okay, great, you know, have a nice life. No, this is something different. This is the blending of their energies coming together in a very harmonious way. That's very beautiful. So I want to go ahead and go into some light messages when it comes to the future and the light of this union, since we've dealt so much with the dark. Okay, so I hope you guys can see these cards here. So these are just going to be the lighter messages coming through to end the reading. These were very beautiful light messages that came through, just so you guys know. I was quite amazed at, I wanted 6, so every single time I shuffled the cards, one popped out after the other. But I was amazed at how it all came together. So honesty is essential. Wow. So yeah, there is something about this relationship or this connection of this divine feminine and masculine here. They need to have an honest conversation. It's came up so many times, not only in my prior reading, but also this one. It's like there's something about communication. There's something about somebody has thoughts, somebody has something to say, but they have to bring it forward. The truth must be spoken. And once they do this, once they reveal their true selves or their true feelings or their true thoughts on the matter, then this union can actually go in the right direction. We have the true love card as well as the union of the hearts. Now, the true love card speaks for itself, but this one right here, to me, this is twin flame in this deck. This is a union of hearts that come together. These are two people that are meant to be together. These are the divine feminine masculine energies, your twin flame. This is it right here. Okay, so that is very evident with this particular union, this particular couple here. But the thing is, how it's going to happen and how it's going to work, I'm really feeling that this has a lot to do with the divine feminine here. And it doesn't mean that she has to do all the work as usual, that she's got to do all the stuff. It's just that these are the things that it's going to take in order to really put the fire out that may be going on here in the situation, okay? Really to eliminate some of that dark. She's got to demonstrate love. She just has to. She's got to demonstrate love. I'm hiding my nail because I have so much paint on my freaking nails. I tried to paint something the other day and it just didn't come off. It's gross. Anyway, so the demonstrate love, she must demonstrate love. She has to demonstrate love. She cannot demonstrate her anger. Okay, let me take that back. This isn't saying that if you have a conversation with your divine masculine that you can't tell him how you really feel. You can't tell him how he hurts you. But it's not about taking that sword and stabbing him. It's not about unleashing your fury on him, okay? Because for some of you, you've had time and solitude in order to work those things out. And if you haven't, maybe it's not the right time to come back. This union is about love. This union is about coming together and having a mutual understanding of one another, accepting each other in such a way that to where you just love each other regardless. It doesn't mean that all is forgotten, but all must be forgiven for this union to come together properly. It just must be. So the demonstrate love is telling you that's exactly what you need to do, especially if your divine masculine reaches out to you and wants to have a conversation. You need to demonstrate love within that conversation. But what I'm really feeling though is that you divine feminines out there are already in that mode. You would demonstrate love, but he doesn't know this. He doesn't understand, or he doesn't believe that you would demonstrate love. He thinks you hate he just thinks you hate him. He thinks you hate him because he was such a fucking asshole. You know, he was a jerk. And, you know, it really hurt you and it sucked, but you worked through the pain. This, again, isn't going to apply to all divine feminines out there, but this is just what I'm channeling. You've worked through the pain. And so now you're ready to have a loving, you're just ready to have a loving conversation. It's not going to be this angry, dark conversation that he may be fearing, okay? Listen with your heart. You're going to have to listen with your heart to get through this situation. You're just going to have to. Listening with your logical mind or listening in a defensive mode is also not going to get you anywhere. So honesty must be spoken. Love must be demonstrated. You must listen with your heart. And then we're going to go into this one next. And in order for this true love and union of hearts to come back together, you get it? So it's like, I know you guys are sick and tired of hearing this. Unconditional love, send your divine masculine all this positive energy while he's out there doing this and doing that and while you're sitting back crying, okay? I understand the concept seems ridiculous. But for those of you that really understand this journey for what it is and what it is all for, then you'll understand what I'm saying here and you'll be open to these messages. You've got to demonstrate love and you have to listen with your heart. This is also telling you that when you are receiving messages, okay, or with what the divine masculine has either said to you, words that you may replay over and over again in your mind, okay, you've got to listen with your heart. You have to listen with so much understanding, almost like impossible, inhumane understanding, an understanding that comes from spirit. And when you listen with your spiritual ears, you will hear something different. You will have a different knowing. You will have a different understanding of the very 3D ego shit that was said to you or that has gone on. Okay? That's what's coming through here. And the last card here is love makes all the difference. I mean, duh, of course it does. But the thing is, for some of you and some of us divine feminines out there, gosh, even for your divine masculines, this is a message for everybody. Love is the only thing that's real. And I know that sometimes that just sounds so ridiculous. And I think for the longest time, I didn't even agree with that. I thought, nope, there are certain people in this life that you just need to basically, that should basically just not even be here. There's certain people in your life that you need to cut off and never look back. But that is not the case with your twin flame. It's just not. No matter what hell they've put you through, no matter how hard this journey has been, the lesson in it for you is to be able to find that love within yourself for your divine counterpart, no matter what. That is pure, true, unconditional love. And that is exactly what this journey is all about. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. And yeah, I just felt like doing this for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If it didn't resonate, no problem. You don't even need to leave a comment that it sucked or that it didn't resonate. I swear I don't understand people that do that. It makes no sense to me. And besides, it's not getting published anyway, so you're just wasting your time. But anyways, you guys have a great day, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.